Welcome to African Reads Comics, where we dive deep into the stories, characters, and themes that make comics more than just entertainment. Today, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most complex and fascinating topics in the comic world, mental health, and how it shapes the characters we love. Our case study: the enigmatic and fractured vigilante, Moon Knight. In the early days of comics, mental health wasn't exactly a nuanced subject. Villains were often depicted as madmen, their insanity driving their evil deeds. Heroes, on the other hand, were presented as near-perfect beings, rarely showing signs of psychological struggle. But as the world's understanding of mental health grew, so did its portrayal in comics. Today, we see heroes grappling with their inner demons just as much as they fight external threats. Moon Knight is a shining example of this evolution, a hero whose battle isn't just against crime but also within his own mind. Meet Mark Spector, better known as Moon Knight. He's not your typical superhero. Diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, or DID, Mark navigates life through multiple identities. There's Mark, the guilt-ridden mercenary. Stephen Grant, the suave billionaire. Jake Lockley, the street-smart cab driver. And then there's Moon Knight, the vigilante protector and supposed avatar of the Egyptian god Khonshu. These identities aren't just masks. They are distinct personalities born out of Mark's childhood trauma and his near-death experience with Khonshu. His disorder shapes not only who he is but also the stories told about him. Mental health is not a side note in Moon Knight's story, it's the core of his journey. His dissociative identity disorder creates constant internal conflict. Who is the real Mark Spector? Can he trust his own memories, or is Khonshu just a figment of his imagination? These struggles make him an unreliable narrator, pulling readers into the confusion and disorientation he feels. But they also make him relatable, someone striving to reconcile the fragments of his identity while still trying to do good in the world. And then there's the question of isolation. Mark's disorder often pushes people away. His relationships suffer, and his allies sometimes doubt his sanity. It's a stark reminder of the loneliness that many people with mental health challenges face in the real world. Moon Knight's story doesn't exist in a vacuum. It reflects real-world issues faced by those living with dissociative identity disorder and other mental health challenges. Just like Mark, many people with DID grapple with stigma and misunderstanding. Moon Knight challenges these perceptions, showing that someone with a mental disorder can still be strong, heroic, and resilient. His identities can even be seen as a metaphor for how we all compartmentalize our lives, balancing work, family, and personal struggles. And his journey toward self-awareness and therapy reminds us that seeking help isn't a sign of weakness but a path to healing. Moon Knight isn't the only hero dealing with mental health, but his story stands out. Take Batman, for example. Bruce Wayne channels his PTSD from childhood trauma into his mission, but his refusal to seek help highlights the dangers of unresolved pain. Jessica Jones struggles with PTSD and alcoholism, showing the long-term impact of abuse. And Scarlet Witch. Her grief and depression lead to catastrophic events, proving that even immense power can't shield someone from their emotions. But Moon Knight takes it a step further, diving into the lesser-known world of dissociative identity disorder and presenting it with empathy and authenticity. So why does this matter? Comics like Moon Knight don't just entertain, they educate and inspire. They normalize conversations about mental health, breaking down stigma and encouraging readers to empathize with struggles they might not fully understand. By portraying heroes with vulnerabilities, comics remind us that strength isn't about being perfect. It's about confronting your demons, seeking help, and never giving up. Moon Knight isn't just a hero. He's a mirror reflecting the complexities of the human mind and the strength it takes to face them. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to African Reads Comics for more insightful explorations of the characters and stories that make comics a powerful medium. And remember, mental health matters, in comics and in real life. Until next time, keep reading and keep exploring.